So, I'm going to use a personal testimony of how having intergenerational relationships can actually better your life, not just individually, not just mentally, but even spiritually. One of the greatest things that the Lord has done has placed different women in my life who are of different generations, different seasons in their life. Some are mama bears, some are pastors, some are widows, some are business women. I have seen the power of being able to learn from each and every single type of woman in their different season. As someone who is 29 and still looking with a lot in her life, one of the things I always ask the Lord is, Lord, let me be a person where wisdom does not elude me, where wisdom does not go past me. And one of the things that I'm so grateful for, the people I can say that I'm so grateful for, is Pastor Lori. So Pastor Lori is someone I've known for probably more than 10 years. And this has been a type of relationship where I call her my spiritual mama, and she is someone where I see in her life, I see the fruits of what God does in her life. I also ask her questions, and she is so kind enough to be able to also answer them. There are times where I have gone through situations that have required, I'll say, wisdom, that have needed the wisdom of someone who has walked before me in ministry, has walked before me in knowing how to mend relationships. And what's very interesting is how I will come into a situation asking Pastor Lori, and what do you think about this? And I go into the situation thinking one way and I come out thinking another way. And that is the beauty of having relations with someone that is of a different generation, not just because it's an accessory, but because it's a blessing. There's a wisdom in it. There are times where Pastor Lori will be able to draw from personal wells of experience, but real things that the Lord has taught her. And I have seen how it has blessed me, it has refined me. And sometimes, guys, it's not easy things. Sometimes it's not the best thing that maybe as a young person one would want to hear. And that's the beauty of life, because if you're just listening to what you want to hear, it's like that verse where it says that there are people who are, they're listening to things that will tickle their ears. There are times where we also need to have wisdom that is well-rounded, that has been, prayed through, sought through. And I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy about my relationship with Mama Lori. She doesn't pretend, she doesn't fake. She will tell me how it is, and she'll say it with wisdom. She'll say it with grace. She'll say it especially after prayer. If there's something that she's not sure about, she'll be like, let me pray on it and get back to you on that. And there's also things where there may be things that Mama Lori won't necessarily tell me directly, but just from her actions, I can learn a lot. And this is also just an encouragement, especially for those who are older, that us younger people, we watch you as much as we hear what you're saying. Sometimes there's one thing of what you're preaching, but are you walking what you're preaching? And especially when we see, especially as a young person, when we see people who walk the talk, there is not just admiration, but there's also an invitation, there is an encouragement, and there's an edification that happens when I'm seeing Pastor Lori do the different things that she does, being very intentional with women, being very intentional in her relationships, being very even intentional in how she speaks to people, in how she treats people. I'm going to give an actual real example that there was a time where I think we were at church or something, and somebody that said something that was incorrect or off. And naturally, again, being a young person, my natural instinct is like, talk about it at that moment, at that time. And I remember I watched Pastor Lori and I saw how the way she navigated that situation. She didn't necessarily directly address the person, but she found a way to wisely be able to make sure that the person received the wisdom they needed in the way they would be able to receive it. So now what that meant is that was something that I learned as a younger person. Yes, and this is again for my Gen Zs. Yes, there are times where you want to say something, you're passionate and you're zealous, and that is important. Don't take away your zeal, don't take away your passion, but ask the Lord for the timing, ask the Lord for the how. And that is something that I had learned from Mama Lori, that there was a wisdom, there was a patience, there was a gentleness, there was a love that came with how she was navigating the situation. That was something that impacted me till this day and made me, even when I'm going into situations, I'm thinking, Is this the way this person will want to receive it at this timing? Is this time correct? And that's just one example. There are many examples where I've seen Pastor Lori and even other women who are older than me, how they've imparted wisdom from how they have been also refined by the Lord. Sometimes even I've had women of older generations be able to tell me their mistakes. And I want to say this in honesty, I've learned more from the mistakes of those who are older than me than from when someone just pretends everything's A-okay and dandy. That is something that, again, as Gen Zs, we care about. We care about authenticity. We care about the real stories. We care about, can I talk about something that is vulnerable and you're able to hear, understand, and also give me the wisdom that is needed, and also vice versa. So guys, there is a beauty in having people who are from different generations, not just generations, but even seasons. If you are a single person, having friendships with people who are in parenting seasons. If you are a parent, having relations with someone who maybe has lost a loved one, or maybe having relations with someone who is single, or just the different relationships, they each have a beautiful way of refining us and also teaching us how to be more like Christ. There's a beautiful verse in Ephesians where it talks about that as we grow in the love of Christ, we don't just grow in the love of Christ by ourselves, but we grow in the love of Christ with other people as well.